Hello everyone, I am Duo and welcome back to another video, and today I am showcasing a design of Hoglin farm, totally AFKable, that I designed. And I took a few days to actually think of a proper design to use, and I thought of the slime pushing technique. This uses a bidirectional flying machine to push the Hoglins off the edge to their death. And I think it's pretty awesome, so this video is a tutorial to show you how to build it. It produces about 2,900 items an hour, which is absolutely insane, so without further ado, let's begin the tutorial. Okay, so post-recording of the tutorial segment, this is really important to keep in mind. I'm going to put this before the actual proceeding of the tutorial, just so this can sink in a lot easier. Put your spawning platform at Y of 253.5. This is because it appears that spawn rates for Hoglins are significantly higher. I presume it's because the nether roof is still somehow loaded down there, causing spawn rates to be significantly lowered up here. So yeah, if you're going to build spawning platforms, build it up here, and also build a lava system in here, which I will explain how to do at the end of the video. With that being said, I hope you enjoy the tutorial. So the first important thing that you need to find for this Hoglin farm is a Crimson Forest biome. And all you need to know is that Hoglins can only spawn in Crimson Forest biomes, and I think in limited capacity elsewhere, although for the sake of this tutorial, assume that they only spawn in Crimson Forest, because that's the only place where you would get decent spawn rates. Next, you're going to want to find yourself onto the roof of the Nether. This part is optional, but if you don't want to have to remedy that by slabbing the entire lower Nether, you're going to want to have to end up on the Nether roof. How you end up breaking the bedrock is up to you, because I'm not going to show you a way, because chances are, whatever way I show you will be patched in the full 1.16 release. But there is always a way to circumvent the bedrock breaking in every single version without fail. So if you find one of those, then use that, get on the nether roof, and there you go. To ensure that you're staying within this biome, make sure that there's particles around you like this, and the sky color is a deep red. If you go into a soul sand valley, which I don't know if there's one around here, your sky area will turn blue, and otherwise it will not. Or alternatively, you can check F3 to make sure that you're firmly within the Crimson Forest biome, and if you are, that's excellent. Next, you're gonna want a lot of building blocks, and I mean a lot. And we're gonna be paying attention to the Y altitude here. So you want to keep pillaring up until you reach Y of 207. Okay, we're at Y of 207, and now you replace that with a different colored block. This is the part where mobs will land, and then the block below it will be your AFK platform. Okay, you want to pillar a further number of blocks up until you reach Y of 250. And this will be the platform from which the Hoglins will spawn. Okay, we're at 249, and we want to place a green block squarely on 250. It doesn't have to be a green block, it just has to be a visually different block. So these are the markers for where our farm will be. And as you can see, it's really high up as to ensure that the spawns down in the nether, like the main nether, below the roof, do not interfere with this farm up here. If you're building below the nether roof, then you do not need to worry about this part, but keep in mind that these markers, Y of 250 and Y of 207, are 43 blocks apart. Okay, so at the 250 marker, you're going to want to get yourself some compressed ice or packed ice, depends on what language pack you use, and you are gonna want to make a platform slightly distant from it, but then have it to be 19 blocks wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it has to be this fixed length so that the slime block pushers can actually work. But as for the length of it, it can be about as long as you want. Although I would recommend approximately 30 blocks. I would say that's the optimal ratio of distance to mob spawning places ratio. But you can definitely do more if you wish to. So once you have your area defined, you're gonna want to fill all of this in with your packed ice or compressed ice, which will, for me, take a while. As you can see, a Hoglin has already spawned. Bye bye, guy. And my spawning platform is nearly filled in, and as you can see, it's already outputting a crazy number of mobs. Now you want to get yourselves an immovable block. Okay, these guys are having a bit of conflict here. So you want to get yourself an immovable block. This could be obsidian, a furnace, whatever. And you want to surround the length blocks like so. So this is the 19 wide and this is the undefined length. But then you have to do the undefined length. So you have to place your immovable block on this side. And you want to do the same, but 2 blocks higher. For the 19 block wide side, you have to leave a 2 wide gap where these guys can fall down. And you want to do pretty much the same thing aside from that. And of course this happens on both sides. So now you should be left with a structure that looks something like this. Now the tricky redstone part is going to come next, so you might want to pay attention. So on the 19 block side, you're gonna want to find the midpoint, so that would be at block number 10, there we go. And this is where you have an equal amount of blocks that side, and an equal number of blocks. Well, yeah. So same amount of blocks both sides. And this is going to be another immovable block, and that's going to apply to the same side. And you want to fill this one side only with 10 slime blocks, so including the corner there. 10, there we go. And now you want an observer with the face side facing that way, and this is going to mirror on both sides. And then you want a sticky piston, which is going to face this way on both sides. Then we're going to need a slime block going on that sticky piston. And then facing the opposite way, you want a sticky piston. Oh, crap. Okay. So this one's going to be quite difficult to place. Okay, you might have to break one of the slime blocks for this. So you want the sticky piston on this side facing inwards like so, and then you can put that back. And then on this part here, you are gonna want an observer facing the opposite way, so face side outwards. Oh, okay, yep, it's moving. If you don't want that, you're gonna want to have to like temporarily stop the machine. Oh god. Okay, there we go. Yeah, make sure you put an immovable block so this thing doesn't just fly off into the distance. And of course you're going to want to mirror that design on the other side. Okay, since this is a bi-directional thing, we can break this block and send the observer thingy all the way back, or the flying machine. And you're going to want to place another immovable block here. So for this, I've chosen obsidian just to distinguish it. So it's going to be from the corner 2 blocks out. And we're going to do the same to this side as well. And of course, we're going to need a stopping mechanism just so these things don't go off into the sunset. Okay, so this part is quite tricky as well. You are going to want a piece of obsidian or any immovable block about 2 blocks out, like so, on the opposite corner, so the slime blocks are over there. And you're going to want a bit of redstone dust on here. You're going to want a trapdoor going on the block lower. And you're going to want some ordinary blocks, so this could be the immovable ones, this could just be andesite, going in a V-shaped pose there, like so. And you're going to want to repeat this on the other side as well. And you're going to want a repeater, if I can find one, there we go, on 2 ticks facing in, no sorry, the other way, so facing into the obsidian. And you're going to want an observer facing downwards into that. So you're going to want the face looking thing looking down like this. Okay, so that was probably the hardest part of it out of the way. Let's activate these things just to test that they work properly. So you basically just plop a thing on front of it. And as you can see, the thing, it's like a windscreen wiper, they just get pushed like crazy, and my frames are dropping like insanity. Okay, yeah, as you can see, they seem to work perfectly fine. So with that said, let's move on. Okay, so next, we're gonna come around the back of here, and we're gonna want a hopper clock. We can make this slightly lopsided, it doesn't really matter. So we're gonna need hoppers. If you know how to make one of these already, you should be perfectly fine. But we're gonna want 2 hoppers facing into each other like so. We're gonna want 2 comparators, one facing out of each of them. We're gonna want those feeding into a block. And then we're gonna place a block on each corner like that. We're gonna place a redstone dust here and here. We can remove those and this if we want. We're going to have a sticky piston and a redstone block. So the sticky pistons are going to go like this and like this, and we're going to place our redstone block here. Now we can load, how much stuff you actually put inside these hoppers is totally up to you. Although I would recommend about half a stack. Not too frequent, but not too infrequent either. So this will switch occasionally. So when these hoppers are empty, this redstone block will flip over. So we want it so on one of these inflections, we're going to have a redstone signal that exclusively feeds onto one of these. And we're going to want this redstone, signal to go directly into one of these observers. As you can see, we have this going like that, and then you want your redstone dust going along this line, and when you run out of signal, you can replace that with the repeater. The timing isn't really that crucial, and as you can see, the updating of the observer caused the flying machine to go over that way and wipe a bunch of mobs off of the side. And we're going to want to repeat that on the other side as well. Again, timing isn't crucial, so don't worry about pressing or putting down repeaters, but preferably you want them on one tick. Okay, so now we have these ticking on a timer. That is perfect. If you want to turn the thing off, then you might want to deactivate the hopper clock over here. And the way you do that is you feed a constant signal into one of these pistons. So to prevent spawns of ghasts and spawns where mobs shouldn't be, so on this block here, you're going to want to create a roof of an unspawnable block, so either slabs or glass. So this is crucial so that ghasts and other mobs can't spawn and then effectively ruin the whole farm. So let's just get this filled in real quick. The reason this is 3 blocks high is so that it actually avoids the slime block wiper. Real quick, I'm going to actually give an example of what happens if you don't put it more than that number of blocks high. If you place a block here, the wiper thingy will get stuck, and that you don't want. Okay, one problem still remains. It's quite a minor problem, but still. You want to place glass along the redstone wires, preferably. I mean, this isn't crucial, although it will adversely affect spawn rates. So you want to cover your redstone components in glass, being careful not to put some over areas where the flying machines will be, mainly because that would cause the glass to stick and break the flying machine. Of course, it'll be easy to fix, but it's not something you want to do anyway. You don't actually have to put blocks over the top of this flying machine, but if you want to be extra safe, you can put one layer 1 block above, like so. And of course, for these 3 things here, or these things that push back the flying machine, you want to put 3 blocks like that. Okay, so now that this stage of the farm is done, we're gonna want to go down to the next green level, or Y is 207, I believe. Let's check. Yes, confirmed, that's 207. Whoa, god, that's a lot of lag. Okay, so now you want to line up the drop chute that we created with some slabs. Okay, that's... So yeah, you want to line it up like that, so let's get some slabs. These can be any type of slabs. I prefer the stone slabs. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference aside from cosmetics. Point is, mobs can't spawn on them and hoppers can take stuff through them, so we use slabs. I won't really go into depth about how you will be able to store stuff from this farm, but effectively you could have hoppers under these slabs, or you can have like a minecart rail, but that's not the main point of this tutorial, so I won't showcase it. At this level, Hoglins become a one-hit kill, because this is approximately 43 blocks, or 43.5 blocks below the drop chute there, so these guys become a one-hit kill. So you want to repeat this on the other side with the other drop chute. Again, it's not crucial to have 2 drop chutes like this, but it's a lot more efficient. Because the wiper will go that way, but then mobs will spawn while the wiper is going that way, meaning that it will push back some mobs over there, and meaning that they'll suffocate. Now, I recommend covering the drop chute in blocks like so, starting half a block raised from the platform here. In case a baby Hoglin falls down here and survives, then it won't be able to make it past this half a block gap. So you want to start down here. You can put these things every other block, or every block if you wish. But if you want to save on glass and time, which I recommend you you can do every other block surrounding this drop pad. Okay, so now this is built, so you have the falling chambers, which prevent any hoglins from escaping, and this is effective because, as you can see down here, they're all trapped, they can't get out. What you're also going to want now is a floor to actually stand on. Now, it's not really crucial. I mean, you want to use a block that mobs cannot spawn on. So slabs are a good idea. Leaves, maybe not, because they're flammable, and this is the Nether. Glass is very easy to blow up, so I wouldn't 100% recommend that. Slabs, I would say, is the best call, but it's your choice. Okay, so you have your platform, you have your farm above. What is now? Well, now you can take down your temporary marking pillar. You didn't really need this to begin with, but like it's helpful to have. So I guess you did. Alternatively, you could just plop a half slab on it, and then nothing will be able to spawn on it. Your way of getting up, well, again, that part is your choice, as well as what you use to sort the items you get from this. So the possible items you can get from this are golden nuggets, rotten flesh, pork, leather. So you could use a hopper system below here to pick those up, or you could use like a hopper minecart leading into a super advanced storage system, but that's not part of the farm, so I won't include it in this tutorial. But there's one thing that you could include in the farm that is totally optional, but it has a very good reason of being added to the farm. So approximately on your third ring down here, so if you go to roughly Y is 244, you can fill in this ring with glass or whatever you have going all the way down here. So then you have, if this is already filled in, you could ignore this bit. And roughly 2 blocks in on that side, 2 blocks in on this side. Make sure to replace these eventually. You don't have to right now. Leave a gap of 3 blocks, and then punch another hole in that. So then you have 5 holes here, and you're going to get a dispenser, and you're going to place those at each of the gaps here. And you're going to get some signs. I'm going to pick the new blue signs because they're super bright and colorful and I like them. Okay, let's put ourselves in here. We can patch these sides back up because otherwise lava will spill out everywhere. And you want to cover the layer below with signs. So these could be blue, any type of sign. Basically something that stops the flow of water and lava. And you want to cover this side as well. So now you want to get some lava buckets, and you want to put those in these dispensers here. And what this will do, when set off, these will cover this whole layer. Any piglins that hoglins that get shoved down here will be set on fire, meaning that they will die by fire damage, causing them to drop cooked meat instead of raw meat. So this may be more convenient to those without fire aspect or looting on their swords. And if you're on a multiplayer server, it may be a very good idea to have the ability to include both options. We are going to place a wool block on the back of these dispensers. It shouldn't be a wool block ideally, but this is creative mode, I can do what I want. And you're going to route that preferably to the middle of here, and then you could add a torch tower so you can have the button down here linking into both of these. You can place redstone going like this, with a repeater feeding through the block behind the dispenser, like so. And you're going to repeat this till the end, and like that. And to prevent mob spawns, as you see over there, you you can cover this redstone signal in glass, like so. This will prevent mob spawns and make the farm that bit more faster. So the way this works is you can activate this button here, causing lava to flow over these signs, meaning that hoglins, let's see if we can get an example here, hoglins will fall through and die by fire damage, you can see it happened over here, and drop cooked pork instead of raw. And if that happens, then yeah, your hoppers or whatever you decide to implement can pick those up, put them in a storage system. Aha, you see it here, you saw it there. So that guy took a bit of a while to die from fire damage, but he did, and he dropped cooked pork. Perfect. And of course you can deactivate that with the same button, meaning that the guys won't die by fire damage, and instead will die with half a heart, or land with half a heart remaining. And you can kill them with your fire aspect looting sword if you wish. So that is the farm in a nutshell. If you have any comments, leave them down, well, in the comments below. Any questions, queries, anything you need help with. I recommend this for survival servers, especially that flip-floppy system where you change between the lava and not lava. So if you're playing a multiplayer server, I definitely recommend this type of system here. If the tutorial was hard to follow, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and hopefully you found this informative. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe for more. And with that said, I shall bid you farewell.